Hey everyone, let me tell you a story today. A real mix of love, lessons, and a dash of heartbreak. If you're ready for some twists, stick around, because this one's going to keep you hooked.
So picture this. Long ago in the vibrant village of Bantu, there lived a princess named Ife. Now Ife wasn't just any princess. She was King Adisa's first daughter. That meant she was supposed to be the pride of the family, the one everyone looked up to. But there was one problem. Ife was unmarried. Her younger sisters, they had no trouble finding suitors. But Ife, not so much. And here's why. Ife loved food, like seriously loved food. Over time, her sighs became the talk of the village. People can be so cruel, right? They'd whisper behind her back, sing mocking songs, and even crack jokes like, she needs 3 wrappers just to tie around her waist. Imagine how that must have felt. But the worst part, the gossip broke her parents' hearts. King Adisa and his queen tried to set up marriages for Ife, but every suitor they approached turned her down. And Ife, she was losing hope. I'll never get married, she thought. Even if someone does agree, it'll be because of my title, not because they actually love me. Still, deep in her heart, she longed for someone who would cherish her for who she was. Now, don't think Ife spent all her days sulking. There was one thing that made her truly happy, dancing. Yep, Ife was a natural. When she danced, it was like the world disappeared. During festivals, while everyone else celebrated in public, Ife would sneak off to a quiet spot, close enough to hear the music but far enough to avoid prying eyes. There, she'd dance her heart out, feeling free for just a little while. Then came Kofi. Now, Kofi wasn't like anyone Ife had ever met. He wasn't royalty. He wasn't wealthy. But what he did have was a kind heart and an incredible talent for drumming. When they first met, Ife felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Joy. Kofi didn't judge her. Instead, he saw her for who she was, a vibrant, talented and kind soul. The two became fast friends. Kofi would play his drum and Ife would dance, losing herself in the rhythm. They spent hours talking, laughing and sharing dreams. Before long, those feelings grew into something deeper. Then one day, Kofi said the words Ife had always dreamed of hearing. I want to marry you. Ife's heart soared. Finally, someone saw her as more than just her size or her royal status. She rushed home to tell her parents, and for the first time in years, King Adisa and the Queen felt hope. But life? It had other plans. Just days before Kofi was supposed to meet her parents, disaster struck. A mysterious disease swept through the neighbouring villages, and it didn't take long to reach Bantu. Borders were sealed, festivals were cancelled, and everyone was ordered to stay indoors. And then, Ife fell ill. For months, she battled the sickness. Her appetite disappeared completely, and even half a meal felt like too much. Day by day, she grew weaker, until finally, a skilled herbalist discovered a cure. Slowly the village began to recover, and so did Ife. But when she looked in the mirror after her recovery, she barely recognized herself. The illness had caused her to lose so much weight that she was now as slim as her sisters. Her sharp features and striking beauty were undeniable. Wherever she went, heads turned. Men who had once ignored her now couldn't stop staring. And Ife? She loved the attention. At first, she thought about Kofi. She even went to their meeting spot, knowing he'd be waiting. And sure enough, there he was, smiling like always, his drum by his side. But something had shifted. Ife couldn't see him the same way anymore. In her mind, Kofi didn't match her new self. She told him coldly, I don't want to marry you anymore. Kofi was heartbroken. He tried to win her back, sending messages through friends and family, but Ife ignored them all. She was too busy entertaining a new wave of wealthy suitors. Feeling bold and confident, Ife came up with an idea, a wrestling competition. Whoever wins will become my husband, she declared. The announcement spread far and wide, attracting warriors, traders and nobles from all over. But here's where things take a twist. Over the months leading up to the competition, Ife returned to her old eating habits. What she didn't realize was that her weight loss had been a result of her illness, not some magical transformation. Slowly but surely, the pounds crept back. By the time the competition day arrived, Ife was back to her original size. When she stepped out to greet the suitors, she could feel their eyes on her, not with admiration but with disappointment. One by one, they began to leave. Ife was humiliated. But then, she spotted a familiar face in the crowd. It was Kofi. Only this wasn't the same Kofi she remembered. Dressed in royal attire, he exuded confidence and authority. As he walked through the crowd, people whispered, "That's Prince Kofi." Wait, what? Yep, you heard that right. Kofi was royalty too. Turns out his love for music had led him to disguise himself and blend in with the villagers during festivals. When their eyes met, Ife's heart sank. She realized what she'd lost, a man who had loved her unconditionally through thick and thin. But it was too late. Kofi turned to leave, his royal entourage following close behind. Ife never found that kind of love again. Eventually, she became the 10th wife of an aging chief, living a life of regret.
And the moral of the story: cherish the people who love you at your lowest. They're rare, and once they're gone, you might never get them back. If this story gave you all the feels, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who needs a little reminder about love and loyalty. See you next time.